blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice, the spirit on earth, and who you are, and all I do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am, and all I do is a blessing to the world, is a blessing to the world, is a blessing to the world. Oh, we love a good chant. Good morning. Well, I'm Reverend Greg Dorst, but you knew that. You guys knew that already. Some of you may not have, though. I mean, we welcome people who haven't been here before, or maybe it's been so long that you've forgotten who stands on this stage today. Maybe there was somebody here before. Really, I mean, it's possible, because I've been here 4 years, and I wasn't the first minister here. No, I may be the happiest minister here. I may be, but I'm here, and this is wonderful to have this connection. So, yeah, Unity of Pasadena, it's a special place, and we welcome you. We also have people on live stream, and if it's your first time, welcome. And if you've been here many times before, we're going to have a great one today. We're going to have a lot of fun today. And that goes for each and every one of you. I know we have at least one new person, and we have a person who was here yesterday. And I'm going to introduce you. Do you mind if I introduce you, Bonnie? Okay. You know, yesterday we had a memorial for Bonnie Simons. You may only meet a person with your exact same name once or not at all in your life. But this is Bonnie Simons. She was married to Don's brother. She was married to Don's brother. And that's how she got the name Simons, but she was Bonnie. So, I mean, it's a tradition in the family to marry a Bonnie, right? And then you can say things like, "Good on you, Bonnie lass." So we have a good time here at Unity of Pasadena, but we are also serious about what it is that we do. We're serious about our connection to Spirit. We're serious about our desire to transform, to become our greater yet to be. And that's what we always have our eye on. We always have our heart on that. I think every religious tradition, every spiritual tradition has the mission or goal of bringing about a spiritual transformation for each person that's involved in it. And that is really our goal here as well. We want to see you grow. We want you to feel the essence of life flowing through your body. The goodness of God is you. And so we start with a blessing that I would like you to join me with, please, a unity blessing. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you just the way you are. We also have a statement of faith I'd like you to join me in. There's only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotence, and I am one with that presence and power. So we're going to slip into prayer at this time, and I always like this part because it never fails that I stand up here and I close my eyes, and when I open them, there are more people. It's because that's part of my prayer, you see. There will be more, and there always are. There always are more people. So let's just take a deep breath. Thank you. Thank you, Jackie. I forgot she was gone today. She's all things today. Let's take a nice deep breath and release it. Let's do that one more time. And just release all it took to get here. And sink into your seats and allow yourself to feel the presence of God right here, right now, in this very space, in this very place, in Unity of Pasadena's beautiful sanctuary. Feel the presence of God. We often say that the presence of God truly is love, so summon up that feeling of love. The love for someone that you know, the love for someone that you're related to, the love for a pet, the love of a place or a feeling or just of life. Summon that up and feel it. That's the presence of God flowing through you. It's in, around, and through who you are. It's in, around, and through this very space. It is the essence of our being here on earth. And I know that today is absolutely perfect. We hear what we need to hear. We do what we need to do. We say what must be said. We hear the truth. We absorb it. We live it. We become it. This is our charge in life. And here we are our higher selves. We operate in this space of love and caring and goodness and light, beauty and peace. We're so thankful to have a space where we can do that. We're so thankful to have Unity of Pasadena, which frankly takes a lot of work, and we're grateful for the people that step forward and help us in that process. We have a board of trustees that I'm so grateful for, that come in and do the work that's necessary to keep the lights on and make sure that we have this beautiful place for whatever is necessary, including memorial services, that beautiful memorial service. We're so thankful for all of our volunteers that come in and make sure that we're ready to go, that greet us at the door, that do PowerPoint and sound, and our musicians who bring just a spiritual bent to this space. They bring so much love, the voice of God. We're so thankful for our prayer chaplains who hold the light for each and every one of us. We're so thankful for this day. And it's in this state of gratitude that I ask you to release these words. Just let them go into the law of mind, knowing that they're already done. And please join me by saying, and so it is. Amen. All right. Well, I don't see any more people. Timing's off. Don said your timing's off. But these flowers will attract. I know they will. And they are so beautiful. We are so thankful for the reminder of Bonnie, too. These flowers were brought in for yesterday's memorial service for Bonnie Simons, Don's loving wife. And there was not only family from around the country here, but we had about 130 other people who joined us in honoring her. And there were things said that needed to be said. There were places where our hearts went, where we needed to go, and it was just a dynamic moment for all of us. And thank you, Don, for being here and for having the courage to stand up and talk and to share your love and your heart and the beautiful relationship that you had. But these flowers are here, and they're a reminder, and I think that's a really important thing, because as I said in the service yesterday, Bonnie's seat was right there. And Don, of course, is kind of sitting halfway in Bonnie's seat and halfway in his seat, so that you're really just kind of filling that space, the Simons space, and then Bonnie right next to you, Bonnie Simons too. It's wonderful. So this is a time that we step into a 3-minute question. So let's see what we got here. Well, it's good to get an easy one. Yeah? What is the soul? I mean it. That's what it says. What is the soul? The reason why I look at that and I go, it's easy, is because I get to say I don't know. And there goes, 3-minute question turns into a 3-second question. So what is the soul? It goes on to ask, is it the divine presence within each of us? And I think that's probably a really good start, the divine presence within each of us. It's often said a spark of God, the spark of God, the spark of spirit in us. But there are a couple of different ways to look at this thing called soul, and I happen to know a lot of people that see this differently. So some people believe that this essence of God that we are is soul, and that we have it at birth, that we carry it with us, that it is revealed fully to us as we grow if we take the time to understand and know how to connect with this thing within us, which is really that spark of God, that spark of spirit. So the soul is present in its fullness from the beginning. There's a friend of mine by the name of J. Douglas Bodorf, and I've talked about him before, who wrote a book called The Complete Soul, which went against some of the standard thinking in religions and in spirituality, that the soul actually grows through the process of living, that your soul will become more than it was when you were born just by the virtue of the experiences that you go through and the things that you learn. So your soul, you grow into your soul grows into you. But his way of thinking was that you're born with a complete soul. It's just revealing itself to you. So is your soul complete when you're born? I'm in that camp. That this spark of God is what it is. And for you to understand it, your consciousness has to be lifted. It must be raised. You have to become more aware. And I'm all about that. I'm all about becoming more aware. And here's the rub. Here's the trick. That you're not going to become more aware unless you're operating with an open mind. That you say, yes, I'll listen. Yes, I will lay it out on the table and pick through it and find the truth. Yes, I'm willing to hold two things in my hand at one time. I'm willing to understand life in a newer, richer, larger way. How do we do? 2:40. I got 20 seconds left. So I want to tell you about my dog. So look it. Here, see, I was only off a couple of minutes. Come on down, you guys. Come on down. Right over there. Next to Larry, wherever you guys want to sit. So good to see you. I'd say we just grew about 6.5%. Yeah, right there. So I think we have a song. Yes.
Take a picture by a waterfall, prove I care about the earth, to show I know what love means. That's who I could be. But what love means is my voice speaking from my truth. What love means is showing up, knowing what is mine to do. What love needs are hands and feet. What love needs is me. I could circle holy places to visit when I can, pin a ribbon on my overcoat, raise another flag. I could cheer the loudest for someone else's work, tell the youth to go forward, to heal a world of hurt, to show I know how love moves. That's what I could do. But what love needs is my voice speaking from my truth. knowing what is mine to do. What love needs are hands and feet. What love needs is you. We'll never find a brighter light than the one shining as our lives. When one of us stands, we all rise. What love needs is my voice speaking from my truth. What love needs is showing up, knowing what is mine to do. What love needs are hands and feet. What love needs is, what love needs is, what love needs is me. What love needs is me.
Thank you, Christy Mitch. That was beautiful. It really was. Well, good morning and happy Sunday to each and every one of you. It's my privilege to share the daily word with you this morning. The title is Grace. Through divine grace, I am abundantly blessed in every way. Grace is an awareness that wherever I am, God is. It is my reminder to let God be God in me. Grace assures me that I am never alone on my journey through life, that no matter what I do or fail to do, I am unconditionally loved and accepted at the level of spirit. God touches every area of my life in a lonely moment. Grace is the overwhelming awareness that I am loved. It is a surprising way through a challenge I consider unsolvable. It is my whole body suddenly with the power of divine life, even as I experience a health challenge. These are just some of the many ways I experience grace. Grace need not be, nor can it be earned. It is a divine gift, available at every moment. As I open my heart to divine grace, I am filled with indescribable peace. Grace be with all of you. Hebrews 13:25.
Good morning, everyone. So I think it's pretty amazing that today's daily word was grace. When I think of Bonnie Simons, I think of grace. When I think of Bonnie Simons, I think of love. And I didn't share yesterday at the memorial, but I'm going to say this about Bonnie. In the 20 years that I've known Bonnie, she has always shown up as love. And that is in the midst of turmoil or hard situations that had happened years ago, that a lot of us were moving through it together. She was that solid person that always showed up to see the positive in it, always saw the truth in it, always saw the wholeness in it. She always showed up as love and grace is love. So I just wanted to say that about her. That just really touched me deeply, that the unity word is grace. And I know she's read that up here before too, the word of grace. So let's go ahead and do are we doing the Lord's Prayer? Yes. If everybody would say that with me, please. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from error. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Now, another thing about Bonnie, she liked Louise Hay, and oftentimes when I would read a affirmation out of Louise Hay, she would stop me at lunch and tell me if she liked it or not, and she really liked this one, and it's on page 23. So I'm going to read this one today. So it goes like this. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. I am always divinely protected and guided. It is safe for me to look within myself. It is safe for me to look into the past. I am far more than my personality, past, present, or future. I now choose to rise above any personality problems to recognize the magnificence of my being. I am totally willing to learn to love myself. All is well in my world. So with that, I'm going to invite everyone to just close their eyes and sink into their space. Take a deep breath in and release that breath of peace. Take a second breath in of love. And take one more breath in of unity. And now just in your mind, bring into your mind someone that you haven't seen for a while, someone that's no longer with us on this plane, and just visualize their face, and just feel that and sit with that for just a second. And we just bring that love in. We bring that love as we just surround ourselves with that white light of healing that is God. And we just bring that white light of healing of God that is above our head right into the back of our neck. And we just feel that warmth from that. We just let it bathe over us as it goes through our shoulders and down our arms. As you just release the tension from your shoulders. And as Helen always says, release your jaw where it's tight. And just feel that relaxation in your body as that white light of healing just moves down your spine, going down your beautiful back, going down into your legs and our wonderful knees, all the way down to our feet and our toes. And just take a second to just feel your fingers and just feel your hands. And just think about how much our hands do in our life and how grateful we are to have these fingers and hands, and how much our feet do for us and carry us around for all the years that we're here, and our beautiful little toes, and how we just feel such gratitude for our bodies, for our health, and how we move through health challenges. We move through them with grace and love for ourselves, just feeling that God presence within. In the moment right now, in this room, we are all perfect. We're perfect, we're whole, we're complete. And we're together in this beautiful space of love. We're at Unity of Pasadena, where everyone is welcome here. So just take this love into our 2 minutes of silence right now. Now, as you're ready, just open your eyes. Come back into this space. Thank you.
I am one, simple and plain, no superpowers, no famous name, but I stand tall, 'cause I believe something beautiful has come alive inside of me. I have felt this spirit stirring in my soul, deep in my soul. I will give love, I will speak peace, all because of the love that's got a hold of me. So wide open, so amazing, it takes my breath away when it occurs to me. In a world where so many feel lost, I know God. I am one, but I'm not alone. When I'm with you, I am home. Side by side, we find the truth. When the spirit in me meets the same in you, I have felt this spirit stirring in my soul, deep in my soul. I will give love, I will speak peace, all because of the love that's got a hold of me. So wide open, so amazing, it takes my breath away when it occurs to me. In a world where so many feel lost, I know God. I will give love, I will speak peace, all because of this love that's got a hold of me. So wide open, so amazing, it takes my breath away when it occurs to me. In a world where so many feel lost, in a world where so many feel lost, in a world where so many feel lost, I know God. Yes. I know God.
So, I think "soa" is a good way to work into it, you know. So, those songs were just fabulous. I have sat in a classroom where Denise Rozier was the teacher and talking about songwriting and talking about her style of songwriting. And she talks about how she makes things simple. She tries to make things very, very simple. But the interesting thing about making it simple is that the rest comes from the heart, you see. The rest of what is brought to the audience comes from the heart. And I think that you guys do a better job than anyone I've ever heard bringing Denise Rozier songs from the heart. I mean, it's really incredible. Yeah. No easy task. No easy task. You know, I mean, you just brought me to that place in both songs where, you know, I almost forgot what I was going to say. All right, so we're doing the parables of Matthew, and I'm excited about it. Do you guys like parables? You guys like parables? All right. Well, parables are cool, and I think that when we talk about parables, we get to talk a lot about Jesus, because Jesus used parables. Most of the time, he communicated in parables, and the reason why he did that was because some of the stuff he had to say was difficult for people to understand, and so he would say, well, look, it's like this. You know, it's not this, but it's like this. And he would tell a story that might be true or might not be true. And he would try and get people to see that it's easy to understand this, so please understand this. And, you know, sometimes he was frustrated as well with the people in his day for not understanding some of the simple things that he brought well, he thought they were simple. You know, we're going to talk about some of these parables and what they really mean and how they affect us today and how important they are to understand today. And you know, I want to say as well that if you've been here for previous talks all last month, I'm going to be using some of the things that they said, some of the people we keyed on, the Eric Butterworth stuff, the Wayne Dyer stuff, to try and bring some modern day parable issues to the forefront. So this is not, none of this is by accident that we're going into these realms, but by design, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So today I'm doing the heart of man. I put in the notes that it might be a good idea for you to read Matthew chapter 15, 10 through 20. I don't know how many of you did that. I know some of you did. Yeah. Good. And with regard to that, I didn't say or give you any clue as to which translations you might want to read. And that's quite all right. I want you to pick whatever makes you feel more comfortable. I spoke with Sandy about this, and she says she likes to read Sarah Rudin. Anybody here know who Sarah Rudin is? She wrote a book called The Four Gospels. And the Four Gospels is a different translation offered by somebody who is skilled in Hebrew, in Greek, in Latin, in Aramaic, and she does what she calls kind of a life, a connecting collage of ideas so that you can feel closer to the Gospels. She changes a lot of the traditional words because she doesn't believe that some of those languages actually can be or should be translated in that way, and brings you a flavor that is more contemporary. It's really good. I think that if you want some good contemporary stuff, go to Sarah Rudin. Of course, you can read any of the translations that you like. Luann. Ruden. Sarah. Ruden. And just so you know, if you want to know a little bit about who she is and how she does these things, she has a lot of YouTube videos. You just type in Sarah Ruden, you'll get them, where she's being interviewed by people. And I think it's a great way for you to get a new feel, more connected feel to the Gospels. I mean, you can read the King James Version and not, connect with it, kind of feel really separate from it because it doesn't speak in language that we're used to. Or you can read, New International Version that gives us more contemporary language. But are you going to ask how to spell it again? Oh, Matthew 15, chapter 15, verses 10 through 20. But I'm going to go through Matthew 15, verses 1 through 20, because I think we need a little bit of pre-context, okay? So we're going to talk about that. All right, so this is actually one of my favorite parables because it's radical. I mean, it's radical. It is. I mean, when you get down to the meat of it, it's radical. Let's talk about what a parable is, though, first, so that you completely understand. I did a little recitation on all aspects of the parable so that you could get this. But the parable, it originates in the Greek, and the original Greek word is parabelin, and it means to compare or set beside, so that you can compare what this means and see that it means essentially the same thing. They're characterized by their brevity. They're characterized by their symbolism. They're short stories that convey a moral message. They may be true. They may be directly out of what's happening in front of a person, or they may be a story that is intended, not true necessarily, but intended to bring about this connection between what's really going on and what this story tells us is going on. So it's fascinating. The purpose of a parable is to make abstract concepts more understandable. So Jesus was into that all the time. He was into these abstract concepts, and he needed a way to bring those abstract concepts to people of his day. That's what he was doing. So let's go through chapter 15, verses 1 through 20. Then some of the Pharisees and teachers of the law came to Jesus from Jerusalem and asked, "Why do your disciples break the tradition of the elders? Don't they wash their hands before they eat? We've heard they do not." Ooh. So this is interesting because the Pharisees had traveled quite some distance to confront Jesus and the disciples on this issue, because they had heard that his disciples, and maybe he himself, had not been washing their hands before they ate. So Jesus replied, "And why do you break the command of God for the sake of your tradition? For God said, 'Honor your father and mother,' and anyone who curses their father or mother is to be put to death." We're going to come back to that. "But you say that if anyone declares that what might have been used to help their father or mother is devoted to God, they are not to honor their father or mother with it. Thus you nullify the word of God for the sake of your tradition. You hypocrites! Isaiah was right when he prophesied about you. These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They worship me in vain. Their teachings are merely human rules." Jesus called the crowd to him and said, "Listen and understand." Now, note this. He was confronted by the Pharisees, and it was a private conversation until he decided to bring the rest of the public by saying, "Listen to me." He had the crowd gather around him. "Come in here. I want you to hear this too. Listen and understand. What goes into someone's mouth does not defile them, but what comes out of their mouth, that is what defiles them." Then the disciples came to him and asked, "Do you know that the Pharisees were offended when they heard this?" And Jesus replied, "Every plant that my heavenly Father has not planted will be pulled up by the roots. Leave them. They are blind guides. If the blind lead the blind, both will fall into the pit. Then Peter says, explain the parable to us. And Jesus said to him and to the other disciples, are you still so dull? Jesus asked them, don't you see that whatever enters the mouth goes into the stomach and then out of the body? But the things that come out of a person's mouth come from the heart, and those things defile that person. For out of the heart comes evil thoughts, murder, adultery, sexual immorality, theft, false testimony, slander. These are what defile a person, but eating with unwashed hands does not defile them. Ooh, that is really against, well, we're going to get just how deep that is. It is really, really subversive. And it's part of what, upset the Pharisees, but upset the rest of the structure of what was going on in the realm of Judaism at the time. So let's go back to where it started to get dicey here. And why do you break the commandment of God for the sake of your tradition? For God said, honor your father and your mother. All right. So here's what's happening. The Pharisees come up to Jesus and they say, these guys aren't washing their hands before they eat. Terrible. You're going to find yourselves in some real difficulty, not only now, but in the future. The future meaning after you are swept away from this earth for whatever reason. You're going to find yourself in trouble for breaking what we call a law, what the Pharisees called a law. And Jesus said, what are you talking about? You guys are the ones that are involved in creating situations where the real law is broken, because washing your hands is just a tradition that's been sent down by your forefathers to you. Washing your hands is just something your mother told you to do. Now, I'm paraphrasing. Something your mother and your father told you to do. Something that their mother and father told them to do. It is a tradition. It is not a law. It is not the law of God. It is not divine law. But you guys make sure that we cannot honor our father and our mother. And the Pharisees, I would suppose, at that time kind of, brought their eyebrows together like, what are you talking about? And he goes on to explain a little bit in some interesting language, but this is the essence of it. He says, look, you guys are into what we call sacrifice. You guys are into holding on to some of your property, some of your money, so that it can be gifted to God and given right back to you. And what happens is, when we do sacrifice, or when we hold on to things that have to be given to you in God's name, we're unable to take care of our parents. I mean, if he were here right now, I believe that's what he would say. He would say, look, this is exactly the import of what's going on. I'm telling you that what you are doing is keeping a lot of people from honoring their father and their mother. They're going hungry. They're not able to handle their bills because you make them sacrifice their best ram or their cow or their other animals, or you make them give the best property and money that they have to you, and they can't take care of themselves, and you're concerned about washing hands? He was upset. He was really, really upset. So he made the point. These are not what defile a person, eating with unwashed hands. What goes in your body is not the point. It's what comes out of your mouth that can defile you. You know, there were a lot of traditions. You could scour Leviticus and Numbers and Ezekiel and find 613 laws that were just traditions. Things that told you what to do, what to eat, what not to eat, what to wear. You know, tassels on the four corners of your gown, kissing each cheek of a person you meet with a kiss of God. I mean, from all of that to all that you eat is tradition found in the Bible. And Jesus was essentially saying, all this stuff is on the outside. I'm concerned about what's in your inside. I'm concerned about what's going on in here, because it's what's going on in here that's going to come out. And that's the thing that can defile you. So you're not going to be in trouble for what you eat. You're not going to be in trouble for how you eat it. You're not going to be in trouble for not sacrificing. Oh my gosh, whoa. For not holding back money and property, which was called korban back then. That's the Latin name that was, actually it's Hebrew. It's Hebrew adopted by Latin, which is to say the holding back of money. It's a practice. The holding back of goods. And the actual sacrifice, which is another term for, which is korban. It's, if you want to look it up, it's Korban. And it talks all about how this was the practice, and it was the essence of what was called sacrifice. So he's telling people, everybody who will listen, that's a bunch of bunk. What you're telling us to do that enriches you, what you're telling us to do that impoverishes us, what you're telling us to do that destroys things that ought not to be destroyed, that takes food out of our mouths, that disrupts society in ways that are just absolutely ridiculous, are not what defile us. It's what you're saying that does defile you. What you're saying is breaking the law. So I think this is fascinating stuff, because what we have is a new way of looking at what's going on. It's not the outside that's important, it's the inside. I've told you time and time again that I believe it's an inside job. Everything we do in life is an inside job. All that we express comes from within us. As Wayne Dyer said, the way another person treats you is their karma. The way you treat another person is yours. That can defile you. Wayne Dyer also told this really interesting story that exactly sets forth the heart of man issue. So anybody ever heard his orange story about an orange? Oh, so I actually saw him do this. Jackie and I actually saw him do it. We went and saw Wayne Dyer speak. It was a pretty small audience, actually. And he held up an orange. He said, all right, here's a question for you. I don't know if you guys are going to get this right. Most people don't. What's inside this orange? And people are wondering what he's talking about. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what's inside this orange. And he starts out by saying, I'll tell you what's inside this orange. Juice. Orange juice is inside this orange. He said, let's take a look at this now. Let's see. If I am filled with stress. No, this is the way he put it. He said, if I put exterior stress on that orange, let's say I start to squeeze it because, there's anger, there's stress in my life, there's overwhelm, there are things that are truly bothering me, and I'm putting my fingers on this orange and starting to squeeze it. That anger, that stress, that overwhelm is not what's going to come out of that orange. What's going to come out of that orange is juice. You see, because that's what's in the orange. This is what I am doing to it from the exterior. It's not the truth of what this orange is. You are not the truth of what's going on in your life. What's in you is good. But if you're driving around in traffic and you find yourself stressed, you're liable to act out. It's not that person who did it to you. It's what was in you. It's what was in you that came out. So the point of the story, which was inartfully told by me, is that this orange will give you what's in it, just like you will when you're stressed. What's in you was the anger. What's in you was the overwhelm. What's in you was the stress, and that's what needs to be changed, you see. Because the exterior forces on that orange were not what was in it. You can blame all those other people, everybody, for how you are reacting and acting because of traffic or somebody else's treatment of you, but how you are acting as a result of it is what's in you, and that's what we need to change. So this is essentially the same sort of lesson that was being given by Jesus. Now, this is where I find that it's so interesting. You see, Jesus, in that one fell swoop, sort of said, the Bible is filled with all kinds of traditions, and you may not know what's important and what's not. Now, when I look at that, I say to myself, yeah, that's absolutely true, because some of these things that are in the Bible are really just traditions, and they affect people who lived in those times and lived in those ways, and are not necessary for us to take as God's divine law here. But then how are we to know what it is we're supposed to do? I mean, this is the problem with us. The problem with people today is we don't really know what we're supposed to do. So we take all of those traditions and we start forcing them on everybody else. And all of a sudden, people who have different sexual identities are to be ignored or to be oppressed or to be chastised or to be set aside. You can name the thousands of different issues that people come up with that can make them others and push them to the side. And today, it's even women who are pushed to the side. If you're other than, it's a tradition. Now, there are people that say you're other that will say, well, it's in the Bible. And it is. But it's one of those 613 little laws that are in Leviticus. It's one of those things that Jesus was talking about here. That's not what we're interested in. We're not. And then John said it best of all. I think John said it best of all. And here's where I'm going to get really dicey. John said, the Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. John is saying, this thing we're having so much trouble with, all of these fundamental texts and writings, the Word, it became flesh in Jesus. So just watch him. You see, you don't need to argue about all of these words anymore, what we really mean. Just watch him. The great example. That's what we say about Jesus here. Jesus, the great example. Now, if you're to believe that John was talking about this, and I believe he was, I don't know if there's any other way to view it. For me, it says, what it is we're supposed to do is in the way he acted. What it is we're supposed to do is in the way he asked us to be. What it is we're supposed to do, which is really important in the Bible, is how he lived his life from beginning to end, from compassion to courage, having the heart to eat with sinners, having the compassion and empathy to be with people that needed comforting, having the temerity to heal people who didn't deserve healing. Really. I mean, they were all others, cast aside as others. That's where he spent his time. He spent his time with others, bringing them back into the fold. This is the example. The Word became flesh. So I'm going to tell you that if you're really into the fundamentalist aspect of the Bible, meaning I read the Bible, every word means something, I'm following it, it's the Word of God, then what you're doing, and this is taken right from a couple of different biblical scholars, and I'll talk to you about it if you want. What you're doing is creating a false idol in the Bible. The Bible itself becomes a false idol, you see. It becomes that thing that is adored. It becomes that thing that is all and all, as opposed to the example, as opposed to the actions, as opposed to the way of thinking, as opposed to the heart of Jesus. You see, we're being asked to bring about a change in who we are. We're being asked to live from the heart of Jesus and develop our own heart of Jesus within us. And that's what I call uncovering the soul. You're uncovering the soul, you're feeling it, you're connecting with it. You're becoming something other than you were before. Oh, this is so amazingly, he was pushing the envelope real hard when he said this. But he was telling the truth. This is what matters. And so when I say I love you, it's coming from the heart. When I say that I see the God in you, it's coming from my experience. And when I do that, I know that I get it back. And that's coming from the law. So namaste says that pretty easily, pretty quickly. So namaste, you guys. All right, I can't bring Wayne Dyer up to explain it because he's not here anymore. But that orange thing, you know? I know I like orange juice. Come on forward. So Charmaine is quite the usheress. She is skilled at ushing. And by the way, many people ask, where does this come from? Well, I wear this all the time, you know. And, thank you, Charmaine. You know, Charmaine brought this to me, and I think she gave a couple of other people this same thing, but I wear it all the time. I like the colors, and I like the Buddhist tree of life. I like the Hindu elements as well, and I think it just casts a really interesting consciousness around this idea of unity, you know. There's only one thing. I know you do. Here's who we have online today. Oh my gosh. Wow. We got Audrey. I wave at all of you guys. This is the wave for all of you. Reva. Jacqueline Perry. Martha Hicks. Martha Morris, if you know Martha Hicks Morris. Victor and Sylvianne. Effie Michaels. Julio's here. Julio Acosta. You know, Julio, we're going to have great food today, Julio. Sorry you're missing it. We got Julie Morrison. We got Sue Haynes. We got David Sisson. And I know we're going to have Charles DeTurk on, too. Yeah, yep. And I think Colleen Camano is going to watch this, too. We'll get some idea of when she is watching it later on down the road. But thank you for bringing this up. Appreciate it. So this is our time to engage in the law of circulation. This is where we come forward and we talk about supporting the things that we absolutely love and adore. And this comes from the heart. The heart of giving is the heart of service. And the heart of service is the heart of love. And so we do it with love. Please join me in saying, God is the source of my overflowing supply, and I am grateful, and so it is.
shoulder through. Come on, sing it with me. I'm living a life that's filled with the faith, that's filled with the power and the glory of God. I'm living a life full of love for you. Let's do it again. I'm living a life that's filled with the faith, that's filled with the power and the glory of God. I'm living a life full of love for you. Not tired of helping those less fortunate, nor am I tired of lending my ear. I'm here to help my friends until the bitter end. Oh, day after day, year after year, I'm living a life. I'm living a life that's filled with the faith, that's filled with the power and the glory of God. I'm living a life full of love for you. I'm living a life. I'm living a life that's filled with the faith, that's filled with the power and the glory of God. I'm living a life full of love for you, full of love for you, and you and you and all love for you.
Wow. Come on up. It was fun. It was really fun. All right, this is what we're going to do. We are going to bless these tithes and treasures. And from our heart, we offer this grateful, grateful moment to each and every one of you. We offer this grateful moment to this church. We offer this grateful moment to the surrounding community. We bring a consciousness that not only permeates this space, but it permeates the entire community around us, that moves out into the rest of the world to ask those people who might be sensitive to this to live from their heart, to feel the goodness flow through their lips, to say what is good on their minds, to say what is true in their hearts. For this is the way of healing. This is the way of connection. This is the way of love. So we're so thankful. We release it, we let it go, and so it is. Amen. Who's doing our community today? Bill, come on. I think that's about right. There we go.
Thank you, Mitch and Christy, for the song. Thank you, Greg, for your talk. Thank you all for being here today. I just love looking at you, knowing that I'm not alone. I am love. You are love. And I love Sundays. All right. So now, you've seen our vision and mission and core values demonstrated in our service today. Let's take a moment now to affirm them together. Our vision? Envisioning a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And our mission? Transforming lives by living and sharing our inner truth, divine wisdom, compassion, and love, using practical spiritual and our core values: creating community, living love, teaching truth, serving spirits. All right. Today, Team D through J is hosting us for hospitality. I hope you all know that.
We also know that a lot of the food that you're going to be eating was donated to us by Don, and we thank you for that. We appreciate it.
Oh, I forgot. I was looking at all that food yesterday. I thought, I need to fill my pockets. Yeah. On the third Sunday next week, Team K through R takes the lead. And remember, the last Sunday of this month is a potluck for all of us to bring something and to help claim it up too, I hope. Okay. This is on a World Day of Prayer. Our prayer chaplains are planning a service here at Unity of Pasadena to coincide with the opening day of the World Day of Prayer back at Unity Village. Our service will begin at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, September 11th. Jackie, do you have anything else to add to that? Yeah.
Well, just so everyone knows, it's a beautiful service. It's in the evening, and we get to listen to some music, and we get to listen to some prayers and some poems. And also, as Helen is lifting up, if you want us to hold someone in prayer, please put it in a prayer card and put it in the basket out in the foyer. It's right here. Oh, right there. Okay. And we only say the person's first name, but put as many people as you want because we do say them out loud. And then after that, they stay here for a week, and then they go to Unity Village, and they also say them out loud for a month. And we have candles, and the sanctuary is lit up, and it's truly just a beautiful, calming, magical evening with each other. And we'll walk out home.
Thank you, Michelle. And Trish Bryan asked us to share this with you today. Please join us on Thursday, September 12th, as our Centering Prayer and Meditation group celebrates the opening full moon that will be on September 17th. Because of the abundance of bright moonlight, it is called the harvest moon, the harvest full moon. And it marks a time to reap what was sown in the spring. Trish will take us through a guided meditation of this month's harvest full moon, marking the end of summer as we experience God's blessing during the harvest time. We gather here at 5:45. Please join us. And last, remember to see Jackie to sign up for Basha's and Pinoco's September 29th Reiki and Sound Bath one-on-one session. Again, each 30-minute session is $45, with 1/3 of this going as a fundraiser to our community. And last of all, this is really important. This affects all our lives. New fall office hours. Well, it means a lot to me when I come in here and I think, I'll just go in there and talk to Gay. And it's not on her hours. So this is important for us all to know. Monday and Wednesday is 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Tuesday and Thursday is 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Friday will be closed. Now I'll turn it back to Greg.
All right, so we're going to do the silent unity prayer for protection, and then we're going to do a song together. So, and after that's over, you guys, see Jackie for prayer. And the way to do that is you stay in your seat, and Jackie will come around to you, or another prayer chaplain as well. The prayers that you will receive are from the heart, and I know each and every one of these prayer chaplains are skilled, very skilled. So please take advantage of that. So let's stand for the silent unity prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us, I am light. The love of God enfolds us, I am love. The power of God protects us, I am power. The presence of God watches over us, I am presence. Wherever I am, God is. I am divine and all is well.